If you go onto the VCU website, you'll find a whole page dedicated to hazing at VCU. It's called the Student Organization Conduct Report. It shows what school-affiliated organizations have been suspended and the exact reasoning behind the decision. Most of the page's contents relay affairs within Greek life. It came to be in 2021 after the tragic death of Adam Oakes during an initiation event off campus.
Adam's death is now under investigation by both Richmond and VCU police. After the 19-year-old was found Saturday morning, Adam's family says Adam had just received a bid to join the Delta Chi fraternity.
But there's one sorority that's missing from the website: Alpha Xi Delta. Alpha Xi Delta was removed from campus in the spring of 2023, but there's absolutely zero information posted online. It's like they just disappeared. So what happened?
So I'm under the, so I actually did not know that. Obviously I know the reason.
My sophomore year of college, I lived with my friend Lexi. She was the president of Alpha Xi Delta. She didn't talk about their affairs very much at the time due to the secrecy rules within Greek life. I figured the best thing I could do is talk to Lexi and hope she'd had a change of heart and would tell me a little more.
I decided to rush a sorority because I wanted to join more things on campus, but there weren't a lot of things for my specific interests. And I was excited to check out the scene at VCU to also see if it differed from what negative stereotypes I had heard. But I was really thrown into it. By my second semester, I was already on the council.
Lexi moved up pretty quickly after joining the sorority's council. So you were president of your sorority?
Yeah.
Well, what was becoming president like?
It was really hard because personally, I had gone through a really traumatic situation right before I was supposed to start being president, and I had wanted to be since I had joined the sorority and everyone knew that. That's why everyone voted for me.
Lexi chose not to share the traumatic event. I'm going to respect that decision and not ask her to elaborate anymore.
I tried my best, but honestly, previous issues in the past had not been resolved for years. Like from the last presidency to 4 years ago, there were still charges pending on people that I was suddenly in charge of.
What Lexi is saying is that for the most part, the sorority of her time was pretty unproblematic. The issues stemmed from girls that had graduated years prior.
One girl got too drunk and she destroyed the house, which is a violation in VCU to get drunk at one of these sanctioned events. If it's going to be off campus, it is a dry zone. You cannot have liquor there because we have minors in the sorority, so headquarters was not happy about that.
Most of the time, VCU wasn't the issue. In fact, it was the sorority's headquarters.
A lot was about our Instagram, as in the things that we would post on our personal Instagram. They told us to delete them because our outfits were too inappropriate. And so it would be smaller things like that where it would be full-on arguments in group chats and I'm getting phone calls.
Lexi told me about some other things that happened before her time. One member spread rumors about the girls in the sorority. Another made malicious, offensive comments to girls in other sororities. The drama of it all damaged Alpha Xi Delta's reputation, leaving future members to pick up the broken pieces. In her presidency, Lexi was still paying off bills for the house that got trashed. But Lexi doesn't think their tainted image was the only reason.
They did not like what we wanted a sorority to be. I think they wanted a very traditionalist version of it, and I don't think they understood what kind of city Richmond is and what kind of people go to VCU. And we weren't allowed to make our own interpretation of a sorority. We had to follow what they wanted. And we were trying to be the new generation, and I would say it boiled down to a lot of disagreements.
Now, I'm sure this is probably a lot to take in. there's one more thing Lexi isn't telling us.
After Rush, there was a Valentine's Day party.
Lexi came to the party high.
And some new girl snitched on me to one of the advisors, and I got a phone call. And it was a very terrifying phone call where I got kicked off, and she said, you're going to be suspended for a little bit, and then you can rejoin the sorority as a normal member. Apparently, it was also because there were people commenting on my mental health. I kind of thought it was ridiculous that I had smoked some weed, and that made me incapable of doing my job.
Pretty soon after Lexi was kicked out of the presidency, headquarters told the girls they were coming to talk to them in person. On that day, they removed the chapter from VCU campus. But there was one question still unanswered: the lack of information on VCU's conduct report.
I think they did it. One, VCU was probably not informed and was given a very vague reason, so they probably just didn't have anything to report.
Were headquarters justified in their decision? Or do the Alpha Z girls deserve more of an explanation? Should VCU acknowledge their existence and history, even if the school wasn't directly involved? Greek life has some pretty strict rules. Evidently, breaking them can have dire consequences.